While many government officials were celebrating and standing in awe of the successful 1945 Trinity atomic bomb test, J. Robert Oppenheimer remarked,
"I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
In that moment, science had opened a Pandora's box that cannot be reshut, creating a weapon so powerful that it can level buildings several miles out and achieve temperatures higher than the surface of the sun. And at the close of World War II, with our uneasy allies, the Russians, poised to take Japan, the American government made a powerful decision to drop 2 of these atomic bombs on Japan, killing over 150,000 people. With just 2 bombs, the US government made a show of power that would launch the world into the nuclear age, and the Cold War had officially begun. Once Russia got their hands on nuclear technology, both countries sort of adopted a standard of mutually assured destruction. Basically, a begrudging truce, which really isn't a truce. Because we both still have our guns pointed at each other in some large-scale Mexican standoff, America and its allies know that if we launched a missile at Russia, another one would be headed back our way before ours had even made an impact. Basically, it's a game of this means this, means that, means this, means this, means that, means that, and before you know it, the whole world's just gone to crap. In the 1980s, we found that such an event would render the world uninhabitable. The conversation we've had about the nuclear arms race has evolved over the years, but not always for the better. In the 1950s, the general public was told this:
Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover.
Yes, the 1950s, when everybody apparently picnicked on lead-lined blankets. The weapon that can wipe a building off the map is thwarted by Grandma's quilt work. Well, at least they weren't told by a government who totally knew better?
This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration.
Well, you win some, you lose some. By the 70s and 80s, however, reality had set in. At its peak in 1965, the US had over 31,000 nuclear weapons stockpiled. A completely redundant amount of something that could render the Earth uninhabitable at a tiny fraction of a percent of that number. It's kind of like bumper stickers. Some people plaster their car with 90 of the things, when it really only takes about 3 to signal to the world that you're a sociopath. And as of 2014, the US government only possesses about 7,200 nuclear weapons. Still a world-ending amount, but a little more manageable. But that's where the story gets hairy. You see, as a society, we basically allowed our nuclear anxieties to die down. And we live under the pretense that our government has the capability to manage the nukes that they have. America has had a handful of clumsy moments that could have destroyed the world. From dropping a socket down a shaft that pierced a nuclear warhead, to accidentally dropping 2 live nuclear bombs on South Carolina. Luck beyond luck, they did not go off. But surely now we use state-of-the-art equipment to operate these things, right? Wrong.
The equipment is ancient. This, for example, is one of the computers that would receive a launch order from the president. It uses floppy disks, the really old, big ones.
Upstanding individuals to guard them?
Picture this: 4 Air Force officers who hold the launch keys to nuclear missiles, leaving open the blast door that's supposed to prevent terrorists from entering the capsule. This while another slept inside, which is allowed only if the door is closed.
According to an Air Force Inspector General's report, on a recent trip to Russia, Air Force General Michael Carey was often intoxicated, rude, and spent a lot of time with foreign women.
Stanley Kubrick could not have written it better in his classic Dr. Strangelove, in which one insane general orders dozens of nuclear strikes in Russia, and the failures of bureaucracy, technology, and human stupidity rain destruction and death upon the world. We are living this right now. It's become clear that no institution, not even a global superpower, can control the hands of fate when nuclear weapons are involved. It can be tempting to excuse the accidents of the past because they didn't have serious repercussions. But that is a fantasy.
Well, I don't think it's quite fair to condemn the whole program because of a single slip-up, sir.
Except it super is, especially when one slip-up could mean this.